goes down the Magic Man. Wait, hold on. Big Perk.
He in trouble, Perk. He in trouble, Perk.
Wait. Big Perk, did you just hear that he's the magic of debates?
That's right.
Do you have anything to say
I heard him.
That's right.
I heard him.
That's right.
I heard. Hey, if he's the magic of debate, then what that makes me? What that makes me? If you the magic, what that makes me?
The sidekick. Sidekick. That's what that makes you. The sidekick. That's what that makes you. That's what that makes you.
Yeah.
Respect your elders. Respect your elders,
you need
okay?
to respect Magic.
The Magic should have never came. I mean, listen, he a little nervous now. Don't let Magic fool you. Magic ain't that's a hot seat he ain't ready for. He ain't coming, Perk, he ain't coming in for a segment, man.
Yeah.
He coming to the show to
The Hall
debate
of
me.
Famer,
The man said it. He said he's coming over.
Yeah.
He said he's coming over.
Nervous.
He's coming to take over First Take. Nah, bro. This ain't the Staples Center. This ain't the LA Forum. It's a new day, okay? This ain't crypto.com. Ain't a basketball game. This ain't Flint, Michigan, and the Spartans. This is First Take. I'm the magic of this show. I'm Magic Johnson, okay? He in trouble. He in trouble right now. Oh, he said, I don't know. He in trouble. Let's go. Let's go. Let's move on.
I try to help you, but sometimes
Magic
I can't even
is
help
a world of trouble.
Okay.
I'm just telling y'all.
Okay. Are you
Let's
finished?
go.
I'll
Yes.
be watching.
Okay.
You know, you're damn right. Everybody gonna be watching.
Oh, my goodness. You know what I like more than Stephen A. bragging on himself? Good news. Okay, so we've got both good news. It's a Friday and all that good stuff in this. The mayor lifting the vaccine mandates in New York City yesterday, and Kyrie's unleashed. He can now play full-time as we head into the playoffs. This is what Stephen A. had to say yesterday about the Nets' chances without Ben Simmons, who's still rehabbing through injury.
You get Ben Simmons up in there, and he's allowed. Don't worry about shooting, bro. Don't worry. All we need you to do is shut that brother down. Something he would salivate at the opportunity to embrace. I think you need Ben Simmons to win the title. I think you can get away with him without him to win the East, as tough as the East is, because you know who you're going up against on a night-in, night-out basis.
All right. Kyrie back, check. Ben Simmons, no dice. Big Perk, you just heard Stephen A. Can the Nets win the East without Ben Simmons?
You see, Stephen A., when you say you're the Magic Johnson of the show, with a take like that, you make me believe that you're the Kendrick Perkins of the show, the Kendrick Perkins of the player, okay? So you go from Magic to Kendrick Perkins. That's one thing. Listen, here's the thing. Look, Kyrie and Kevin Durant, they are box office together. I understand that. Offensively, when you talk about getting buckets, you talk about one of the most skilled duos to ever play the game. I get all that. But at the end of the day, we keep forgetting one thing. Defense wins championships. And as I talked about earlier, Kyrie Irving had 43. Kevin Durant had 35. They scored 120 points, and they lost. Why? Because they don't have a defensive presence. Andre Drummond, he can't guard a pick and roll to save his life. I don't know what's going on with Speedy Claxton kid. But listen, here's the thing. My biggest concern about the Nets is when that ball is not falling in the basket, you're going to have to get stops. You're going to have in-game adjustments. And me personally, I don't trust Steve Nash. He has given me no reason to trust him. KD and Kyrie has bailed them out every single time with historical performances. Until I can see Steve Nash make in-game adjustments, which he's going to have to do, especially in the Eastern Conference this year, going against guys like Eric Spoelstra, Doc Rivers, guys to that nature, I can't see the Nets winning the East, especially without Ben Simmons.
I can't. I'm not guaranteeing it. We got to see it, but I can't. Let me tell you something, man. Defense wins championships, but offense wins games. And when you've got a prolific offense, which they have when Kyrie and KD are on the floor together, it takes a Memphis to take them out, okay? I'm talking about the Eastern Conference. I ain't talking the title now. I'm talking about the Eastern Conference. When I look at the Eastern Conference, I'm going to go on the record and say something. Yes, I'm Knicks first, New York always. The exceptions to the rule are when I take my social life into consideration, and then suddenly I root for Miami and LA. I'm not apologizing for it. It's just my life. It's just what I root for, ladies and gentlemen. It's my dream scenario. And one of the most bitter memories I've ever had in my life was when the bubble was taking place and the finals consisted of Miami and LA. I waited my entire career, Kendrick Perkins, to be able to cover an NBA Finals with Miami and LA in June, and it happens when no fans are allowed and everybody's stuck in the bubble, and I can't believe it, okay? Having said all of that, let me be very, very clear about where I'm going with this. There's only one team in the Eastern Conference right now that wants any part of Brooklyn with KD and Kyrie on the floor, and that would happen to be the Boston Celtics. Nobody else really wants them. They'll show up. They'll take it. Milwaukee could beat Brooklyn. Miami could beat Brooklyn. But if you think for 1 second that them brothers ain't a little bit nervous about the thought of going up against KD and Kyrie, you got another thing coming. Because these brothers together are explosive. And I'm telling you right now, Seth Curry has elevated his level of play to a point where we all need to be taking notice about what this young brother is capable of. Drummond has mass and girth, and he helps buffer the offensive line. Claxton and Jones are role players, nonetheless, along with Blake Griffin, who forgot how to dunk when he was in Detroit and then learned again once he got back to Brooklyn. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that when you look at the supplementary parts, the personnel surrounding a healthy Kyrie and KD, you cannot summarily dismiss that. These brothers are both champions for a reason. They know what it takes. When you look at all the other teams, definitively speaking, who is your closer when it really, really counts? With Philadelphia, you hope it's going to be Harden. It has to be Embiid. With Milwaukee, yeah, Giannis, but the perimeter shot is suspect, along with the free throw shooting, even though he's made more free throws. He's made his free throws in the past, and he's overcome some of those doldrums. Miami is no joke. They seem perfectly suited to knock off Brooklyn. I get that. But we see from time to time how they ebb and flow like a roller coaster. We know what they're capable of. I'm not questioning it. What I'm questioning is the level of consistency, which obviously Eric Spoelstra was questioning as well, based on what we saw the other night, okay? So to me, I look at Brooklyn, and Boston would be the team that I would tell you is in a position to say, bring all that smoke. We ready for it? But I'm telling you, Brooklyn right now, even without KD, can challenge and possibly could win the Eastern Conference because their offense is that prolific. The games will be close, and it'll come down to moments. And when moments arrive, I'd bet my money on Kyrie or KD.
Well, Stephen, let me ask you something. Would you bet your money on Steve Nash? Would
No.
you bet your money on Steve Nash?
No.
Okay, so that's my point. When we talk about, when we get down to the nitty-gritty, when we get down to the scout report, when we get down to those in-game adjustments, making adjustments at halftime, making adjustments on the fly, defensive schemes, offensive schemes, because it's going to become a point of time where rotations matter. It's going to come a point of time where teams are going to start doubling Kyrie and KD as soon as they touch the ball.
Yep.
Do you have faith? Do you have faith in Bruce Brown?
Can I answer that?
Do you have faith in guys? Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, I do have some faith in Bruce Brown. I do have some faith in Seth Curry. I do have some faith in some of those guys. That's number one. But number two, I want to throw this because I want to ask you this question before we get out of this segment. Steve Nash, is he a better coach now than he was last season?
I haven't seen. I mean, he haven't showed me nothing
I
to
think
make me
he's a little
believe
bit
that
better.
he is.
I think a little experience. I think he's a little better than last season. What I would say to you is this, KP: if Kevin Durant is wearing a size 12 instead of a size 13, Brooklyn's in the conference finals, and probably is going to the finals. Last year, Steve Nash's rookie campaign. I'm saying all of that to say, even though the questions about Steve Nash are legitimate, my position is that in the end, it's not going to get in the way of them being in nail biters. And when they're in nail biters, KD and Kyrie, that is the moment where coaching ain't that important and it comes down to them. And I believe in those brothers. That's what I'm saying.
Well, see, Stephen A., look, let me explain something to you, right? When I look at Steve Nash and I look at the Brooklyn Nets, I'm looking at the games that they won when they do have Kyrie and KD. Think about the performances that those brothers have to put on just for them to win regular season games. And it's going to come upon a time in a 7-game series where they're not going to be on. Like, as special as both of those guys are, they're going to have those games where the ball is not falling in the basket. And I want to know, can they hang their hats on the defensive end? Can Steve Nash come up with defensive schemes? And I really don't believe that. That's why I can't give them credit. And you know how stacked the Eastern Conference is right now. The Milwaukee Bucks, the Celtics, the 76ers, although James Harden is looking, not really good right now. But, man, you got to have those in-game adjustments. And I'm telling you now, I don't trust Steve Nash. I don't.
Fine. And I'm telling you, I don't see any scenario where both Kyrie and KD are off. Maybe one of them, not both. I don't see that.
Okay, we're out of time, guys. We got to keep it rolling. Plenty more NBA to get into. Book it, Devin. Book